Oh man, that was a freaking close game. It's another damn overtime thing. But before I get into the game, I'm gonna rant a little bit about something. So all this week, okay. So first of all, Derek Carr gets benched, okay, and you have two sides of people. You have people that are happy about it, and then you have people that are like, "Oh, this is unfair. You know, DC deserves better, and oh, the Raiders are real fucked up for doing this, and oh, I'm not gonna watch these games. I'm not a fan of the Raiders." And what I gotta say to people like that is like, if you really think like that, then you weren't a Raiders fan to begin with. You were a Carr fan, and I think it's kind of, and and even there's some Raider content creators. I'm not gonna say who they are, but there's some Raider content creators who are out here pumping these fucking bullshit theories. And oh, it's Mark Davis's fault because he did this and that, and he never gave Carr a chance to succeed. He ran through six head coaches, and it's all Mark Davis's fault. I've even seen a person who has a pretty significant following say that pretty much it was Mark Davis's fault, which is like one of the biggest lines of fucking bullcrap I've ever heard, because it's kind of funny because now people are just like, oh, well, McDaniels should be fired, and Carr's just the scapegoat, and oh, all this, fucking bullshit. Okay, so if Carr is a scapegoat, why wouldn't they have benched him like halfway through the season? They could have easily done that, or when we went 0-4, they could have easily benched him then, but they gave him the whole season to try to prove it. And I'm not defending Josh McDaniels by any meaning. He's a fucking dumbass. He's made some stupid ass calls, and I still question his ability to be a head coach. But at the end of the day, Carr was having trouble before McDaniels even came, so you can't put it all on McDaniels. You can't put it on Mark Davis because Mark Davis gave him every opportunity and every chance to try to succeed, but he still failed. And the people was like, oh, well, he had six head coaches, and he had one of the worst defenses in the NFL. All the same. It's like all the same shit that they fucking regurgitate, that they listen to certain people. They all parrot and regurgitate the same shit. So the head coach carousel, let's talk about that. That happened because there were some coaches that were the scapegoats for Carr. Remember Jack Del Rio? Yeah, he was a scapegoat for Derek Carr, in my opinion. Like literally right after he came back from injury, he sucked shit in 2017, and I think Jack Del Rio should have got another season, but he got axed for John Gruden. So I think it's kind of funny how the people who are crying about Derek Carr being benched were the same people who are demanding that Josh McDaniels be fired, demanded that certain other coaches be fired, and then when Mark Davis does that, when it helps, Derek Carr, you applaud him, but when it's for the good of the organization and the team, you say, oh, fuck Mark Daniels, no, fuck you. How about that? And I just think it's ridiculous, some of these fucking stances that these people have. The guy had 9 years in this fucking team. Most other teams would have fucking cut him by this point. But Mark Davis gave him a chance. Even I'm sure there's other coaches that wanted to get rid of Derek Carr, but Mark Davis vouched for him. So, and guess what? Who leads the league in interceptions? Is it Josh McDaniels? No, it's Derek fucking Carr. Does Mark Davis lead the league in interceptions? No, it's fucking Derek Carr. So I don't want to hear shit about he didn't get a fair chance and it's not fair. He had so much potential. What fucking potential are you going to have when you're in your 30s and your 9th year in the fucking NFL? There is no potential. That's what I don't think these people understand. Oh, potential. Potential doesn't mean fucking squat. Because guess what? I have the potential to make $1 million and date a supermodel. Does it mean it's actually going to happen? No, but I have the potential, right? Because I'm a living, breathing male, I have the potential to do that. But just because I have the potential to do something doesn't mean it's going to actually fucking happen. That's what some of these people need to get in their head. Now, not all Derek Carr fans are like this, but there's a small fucking minority of them, the small vocal minority, that are so fucking irritating and acting like spoiled children, and they drove more people to dislike Derek Carr because of their fucking delusional, childish fucking bullshit. So that's why I'm glad. Not only because of his poor play, but I'm also glad he's benched because I'm tired of the division in this fucking team. I'm tired of simply just voicing my opinion on certain areas of the internet or even just in general, and people giving me shit about, and that it's so funny. Whenever you talk shit, or not even talk shit, whenever you have a critique of Derek Carr, you're not a real fan. You don't know football. You guys are proving that you're not real fans of the fucking Raiders because you're over here putting a guy on a pedestal who's acting like, you're acting like he's holier than thou, and he's done nothing wrong. He's so amazing. Everything he touches turns water into wine. Well, guess what? There's only one man on earth who ever did that, and his name isn't Derek Carr. Let's get that shit straight. I'm just so tired of it. Like, yes, he's a nice guy. Yes, he has done he gave the Raiders a couple of playoff appearances. But guess what? 2 seasons out of 9, that's 23%. So you're basing the whole crux of your argument is based off of 22% of his time with the Raiders. Not even 50%, 22%. I think it's 22 or 23, maybe even 21. But I don't know. I don't have a calculator in front of me, but it's just ridiculous. And I'm fucking tired of some of these content creators pumping out these fucking bullshit theories. Oh, well, maybe this is why. Oh, he sabotaged it from the beginning. Oh, yeah, because Josh McDaniels paid all these defenders and choreographed it so they intercepted the balls, right? Right? It's all some grand scheme to get rid of Derek Carr. What did they gain by getting rid of him? And that's the thing, is if people would take a step back and look at it from an analytical and logical point of view, if you guys were running a fucking business, if it was your money on the line, you would do the same thing. Why the fuck would you risk injuring a guy and then you don't even know if you're going to use him next year or not, and then you're going to end up paying him $40 million, and then if you cut him, guess what? $40 million in dead cap. And this is the last thing I'm going to say about this shit. So let's say we do it. Let's say we do it the fanatic, the Carr cultist, Carr tard, Care Bear way. Okay, and we keep him. Guess what? He gets paid all that money, and the defense and the O line that you guys were bitching about all season. What money is going to come to be able to fix that? It's not going to fall out of the fucking sky. The fairy fucking godmother isn't going to grant it to us. Where's the money going to come from? Because you got a dude who's going to take a fourth of the cap who's not even performing. And it's just like, guy, like, and I just don't. That's all I'm going to say about it. That's all I'm going to say about it. And don't get me wrong, I don't hate. There's people on both sides. There's people who hate Derek Carr's guts, think he's the worst quarterback ever. I don't think he's the worst quarterback ever. I think he's average, but now he's below average. He's regressed. But he has done a lot for this team, and I'm not going to take anything away from him in that regard. But to sit there and to blindly just act like he's done nothing at all, like he doesn't lead the league in interceptions, like he's not inconsistent, like he's not has been buckled, and that he's not been the same ever since he's got injured, you are fucking delusional. Okay? All right, so let's review the actual game. I hate to start on a rant like that, but I just get fucking tired of, all this shit being fucking broadcasted everywhere, people eating it up, regurgitating it, and then just saying that. So that's partly why the reason I made that parody video was to make fun of some of the crazy assholes that I've seen. Oh, all right. All right. So, this game. So we lost another double-digit lead, and once again we lose in overtime. Now, what was it? So we basically got the similar outcome as we would have if Derek Carr was the quarterback. But the difference is, what I saw today from Stidham, there were a couple passes where I think he forced it, but there were a few really nice passes, especially to Davante Adams. That touchdown he got, both touchdowns he got, and that one pass that was down the field where he literally caught it one hand and rolled it down. That was a real nice pass. But what I saw from Stidham that I hadn't seen from Carr in a long time was that Stidham wasn't scared. He was not scared to get hit. He was not scared of being in the pocket. Like, literally, there was even that one pass he threw to Davante Adams, he literally looked like he was like tap dancing in the middle of it while Davante Adams got open. And he threw it, and, it was a real nice pass. So I'm sure, all the Carr Care Bears are going to be like, look, we got the same results. See, he's not the problem. But guess what? If Derek Carr played, I don't think he would have scored over 30 points on the 49ers. I'm just saying. All right, so first quarter, Stidham throws a real nice pass to Darren Waller. Let's see. Second quarter, we did a 4th and inches, and I'm surprised we didn't do a QB sneak here. I thought that they were going to do that, but Josh Jacobs got stuffed. Josh Jacobs, I mean, he had a touchdown, but he was getting stuffed for a lot of the game. He had a few good runs, but I could just tell he was having a hard time. And then the 49ers got the ball back from that failed 4th and inches, but we stopped them there. The defense stopped them there, which is good. And then after that, Stidham throws a real nice ass freaking pass to Devontae Adams, which is sweet. And then in the third, and then okay, so then I think we're leading, right? Yeah, we were. I think we led into the halftime, and I will say that in this half we didn't completely shit our pants like we normally do. The offense, the defense. Ugh, that's one thing. The defense has been horrible, but the offense didn't stop. The offense continued to score point. I think this is one of the first games. I'm trying to think. I'm not sure if there was another game where we scored in every quarter. I'm trying to think. It might have been maybe towards the beginning. I don't really remember, to be honest. But it's been a long time that we've scored every single quarter, and it made a huge difference, I feel like. Yeah, so like we scored in every quarter. Then Amik Robertson gets an interception, which is good. Fourth quarter, Stidham throws a pass and it got batted down, and but Stidham's tackled him. But I will say that was probably my only a critique I would have of Stidham is that his ballsiness is good, but it's also sometimes like, dude, okay, calm down, I mean, I don't want to play like ultra conservative, but there were, especially like that one pass where he threw it got batted down and it turned into an interception. It's just certain things you got to be a little more careful with the ball. But otherwise, like I really liked like how he just did not give a fuck. He's like, I don't care if these 300-pound dudes are coming at me. I don't give a shit. Then Daniel Carlson has a 57-yard field goal in the fourth quarter, and Devontae Adams had that epic ass cat. Like, I would love to like make, or even like watch someone make like a whole compilation of all the Devontae Adams passes this season, like the really crazy ass one-handed catches he's had. Man, it's ridiculous. That guy is like freaking Madden catches brought into real life. Then after that, Josh Jacobs had a really good like walk-on touchdown, and I was like, okay, we got it. But I think if that interception didn't happen, where like they batted the ball down and they got it, I think maybe we could have scored another field goal at least, but I don't know. It didn't really seem like we had too much trouble driving down the field. It was more like once again, it seems like red zone is still kind of an issue, even with Jared Stidham at quarterback. It still seems like red zone is still a little bit of an issue. But I mean, there were, I don't think we punted it until like the third quarter or something like that. So yeah, so that was good in that regard. Then freaking Robbie Gould misses the field goal. I got my hopes up. I'm like, oh my God, are we really going to do this? Are we really going to win against the 49ers? Because I mean, I predicted us to win, but that was before that Derek Carr got benched. I thought when I first heard that Jared Stidham, because I didn't watch him. I didn't watch preseason. When I first heard that Jared Stidham was going to be starting, I was like, oh shit, we're going to get blown out by the fucking Niners. But we didn't. And in my opinion, even though we lost the game, he threw a losing interception. We lost. He was the reason why we lost in overtime. I think we lost the overall game because of the defense, but Jared Stidham's the reason why we lost in overtime. But to do that against the number one ranked defense, and it's your first start. I mean, granted, maybe they weren't expecting him just because they only benched Carr a couple days ago, so they probably already had the game plan in motion for Carr, and then they weren't expecting quarterback to run and move and extend plays. Oh my gosh, that actually happened. So I don't think they were I think that's partially the reason why Stidham had such a good performance was because the 49ers were not prepared for him. I think they were more prepared for Derek Carr just because they already had the game plan written. I mean, I don't think he stick to it completely, but I think they had the majority of the game plan written. So we'll see how he does against the Chiefs. Now, I believe that game's in Las Vegas, right? Because it was away when we first played the Chiefs. So yeah, so let me finish wrapping up this game. So then overtime, Stidham, I think he was hit while he was throwing, just because like how his hand looked. It looked like really awkward, like almost like he was shooting a basketball shot. You know how you flick your wrist when you're shooting a basketball? It looked almost like that. So I think he got hit his hand got hit while he was trying to throw it, and then it was a wobbly ass pass. Oh, and that was another thing that Purdy threw a wobbly pass to Ayuk or whatever. I thought that was gonna be an interception. Then fucking Ayuk catches it like a course. But I mean, Ayuk is pretty decent. But it's like fuck. And then Christian McCaffrey, he freaking destroyed us. He like dude's like a fucking train, man. Oh my gosh. I mean, I would say he's well. I would say Derrick Henry is a little stronger than him though. But he was just like mowing people over. But yeah, so interception, basically at the goal line, basically the end of the game. 49ers kick a field goal and win in overtime. And am I a little pissed? I mean, I'm not really pissed, to be honest, because I expected us to get blown out. I literally thought we were going to get blown out. But we didn't. The game was actually competitive. It kept me engaged for the whole game. We scored in every quarter, which I liked. The only criticism I would say to Jarrett Stidham is to be a little bit more conservative sometimes. I know he wants to make big plays, especially like I bet you he's like, he wants to fight. I mean, anyone would do that if they're in his position. Like, oh, I can possibly be the starter. I'm going to play like hell, play balls to the wall, play balls out. Okay, that's good, but be a little bit careful at times. But I could tell, like, definitely, like by the end of the game, he was definitely gaining more confidence. I would say another criticism I would have is definitely not. I think it was like this third quarter. I think the third quarter, I don't know why we weren't doing as many run plays. But then again, I mean, he was Josh McDaniels, or not Josh Jacobs was getting, stuffed some of the times. He was getting good chunk plays every now and then, but he was getting stuffed a lot too. So yeah, all right. So who's the MVP of the game? I'm gonna give the MVP. Who should I give it to? You know what? I'm going to give it to Jarrett Stidham. I'm going to give it to him. He's the MVP of the game. Here's why. He literally had to deal with all this media bullshit. He had to deal with everyone talking this whole fucking time. He had to deal with the pressure of, stepping into, a role which had been taken for so long. I don't know, I've heard differing things. I've heard some players, saying that I've heard some reports that players were like kind of welcoming him. I've heard some players say that he's an asshole, and some, I think it was Max Crosby or something said that, or similar to that extent. Like some players were like, oh, whatever. But he had to deal with a lot of bullshit going into this game, and he still put on a great performance. I mean, yeah, he threw it was 2 interceptions, but I think it was more because it was batted down. And it was a wobbly pass, not like he directly threw it at at a person. But I mean, there's still interceptions at the end of the day. But yeah, I think he threw for like over 300 yards, had some really nice touchdown touchdown, and other passes too. And like I said, I like that he didn't fear being in the pocket, especially for someone being in their first time. I think this is the first game he's started fully. I mean, he came in for like a drive or two, but he's never done a full game. And I just like his no fear. He just like, I don't give a shit. If they hit me, they hit me. As long as I get it thrown to the person, I don't care. So yeah, he is the MVP of this game. And all right, so we have the Chiefs next week. Now this is going to be interesting. What happens with the Chiefs, because they're going to have a whole week to prepare for Jarrett Stidham. So I think that'll be more of a test of him as a quarterback rather than this game, because I honestly, like I said, I don't think the 49ers were prepared for him. So we'll see what the Chiefs do. And okay, so let's see. Who do I predict? I'm going to say Raiders by 3. I think it's going to be a close game just like this one. It might be a shootout again, just like this one. But the reason I give the Raiders a slight edge, because we almost beat them. They only beat us by 1 point in the last game. And honestly, they really have no reason to win this game. I mean, I don't know. I could be wrong, just because we're rivals. Maybe they want to win and shove it in our face. We're already eliminated from the playoffs, and the Chiefs already clinched their spots. This game really doesn't mean anything to them or to us, really. It's just more like a bragging rights thing. So I think the Chiefs might rest the majority of their starters. I could be wrong. They might not. But it would make sense for them to rest them just because they already have clinched it. But yeah, so that's my prediction. Raiders by 3. And yeah, it'll be a real interesting test to see what happens against the Chiefs because they're going to have much more time to prepare and much more like film to go off of for Jared Stidham. So I hope you guys enjoyed my recap and reaction. Sorry for the rant at the beginning, but I just get tired of seeing all this bullshit. And at the end of the day, we're all Raider fans. We don't need to be fucking fighting with each other over this stupid shit. And that's part of the reason why I'm glad he benched himself. And then I even heard that, that he started like unfollowing, that Derek Carr started unfollowing people, which I could kind of understand, but that's still kind of like childish and, in my opinion, like, just accept it. You should have just accepted it with your head held high and not, cried and took your ball home with you. That's just how I see it. I could be wrong. Maybe he didn't do that. But I've heard, I heard some places that he unfollowed the Raiders and other things. So it's just like, well, okay then. And I don't know what the future holds for him. But I mean, like I said, I will thank him for what he has done for this team. But at the end of the day, it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. Just plain and simple, it wasn't enough, and it's time to move on. It's time to move on. Like some of these people literally want to do the definition of insanity. Like they really want to do the same. They really don't want to change any element of the equation, but they think that they're going to get a different answer, or like they basically think that they're going to get a different outcome with the same thing. But it's like that's not going to happen. And I've even heard some people like, oh, now we're the Patriots, now we're the Patriots 2.0, and I don't know. I don't think so. At the end of the day, we're still the Raiders, and the thing is, our identity from like the 80s and stuff is like gone, because part of the reason you can't even play like that anymore because of these new rules and shit. So it's like almost like we have to make a new identity. But I want it, like I said in previous videos, I want it to be our own identity. I don't want to just be Patriots 2.0. I want it to be our own identity. So I hope that we can use some of the strategies besides cheating that the Patriots use, but implement them in our own way so it's our own thing and not just like a derivative of the Patriots. But anyway, enough about me rambling. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope to see you next time. Thank you.